the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, 'cause you ordered my steps.
Once again on the couch, um, where we are again on the topic of church hurt. But come on in. Give us a thumbs up if you're able to hear us, see us. Remember to please share the live with your friends, your family, share with everyone. So come on in and let's talk. Come on in. Come on in. How was your day today? Well, let's see. My day was very hectic. I can honestly say. Well, it wasn't that hectic. It was a yeah, it was busy. It was a productive day. It was busy. Monday, Tuesday was crazy. It was bananas. But God is good all the time and all the time. God is good. So come on in. Let's continue this topic on church hurt, and please utilize the comment box where you could leave a question, a concern, or a statement. And yeah, let's talk. It's not just going to be us talking tonight. So come on in. Tell us about your day. First of all, once you get in, I just need you all to give me a thumbs up, just saying that you can hear me. You can see me. Sound and clarity is good. And then from there, go ahead, share this live with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, your enemy if you have any. So come on in. So we're waiting on Mr. Anglin over there to, because he's hosting tonight. I did it twice, so he's the host tonight. He's the one with the questions and the answers. Yeah. So come on in. Come on in. Come on over, everybody. Mhm. Mhm. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to Couch Talk. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Oh, very interesting day for you, Mrs. Champagne. What made your day so interesting? Share with us. What made your day interested? My auntie. That's my aunt. My beautiful auntie. My beautiful auntie. Tell them why your day was interested. Mm, I'm just here trying to send out the link. So We're just getting started. Tonight we didn't have any form of technical difficulty. Thank God.
How
God
it
is
sound?
good.
We're here, guys. We're here. We're here. Back by popular demand. Hi, Shanika.
Hi, Boswell.
Did you get any church hurt this week?
No.
No. So why you make that face? Why you
Well,
make that face? All right, guys, come on in. Leave something in the chat. Let us know that you're here, that you can hear us loud and clear. I hope my mic is working. Give us a thumbs up, guys. I've always tried to test this thing before we go live, but you know, things happen when you go on social media, everything changes. However, just let me know if you guys can hear us loud and clear. And back by popular demand, people asking about church hurt. A lot of people talking about church hurt. So I want as many people to be in this conversation. So guys, come on in, share the live. Let someone know that we're going to be talking tonight about church hurt. And many of us seems like many people seem like they've been hurt. They've been hurting. And so we're going to have that conversation tonight. And I hope that this conversation will be constructive, that someone will learn something from it. Also, just a disclaimer, we are not, again, I said we are not Bible scholars. We are not pastors. We are not prophets. We are not apostles. We are not, why you laugh? We are not theologians. We are none of the above. We are just simply servants that decide to discuss these topics based on our personal encounter and our experiences. All
yeah.
right.
And
So,
topics that, individuals are not comfortable to talk about for whatever reason. We felt like it was okay and the right thing to open a platform where, people can share. We could have a discussion, we could talk together about things that you really don't feel comfortable or you don't hear or can say in a regular church setting, as
right.
you would put it.
Oh, yeah. So, this is round three of Couch Talk. And tonight we're going to deal with healing from the church. So we've going to be navigating through the challenging waters of church hurt, and we're back with another round, which is round three, to continue the conversation. So join us, guys, tonight as we dive deeper into the crucial topic, offering a safe space. This is a safe space, guys, for support, healing, and an open dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So tonight we're going to cover, this is what we're going to cover: personal stories.
We'll try to cover all of that.
Yes, we're going to try to cover that. Understanding the impact of church hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Finding forgiveness, because that is very essential.
Very.
Very essential, right? Rebuilding trust, having a supportive network, right? So the importance of community and how to seek or build supportive environment where wherever you're sharing, you feel supported. You don't feel like you're alone
Are being
or
judged.
being judged.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuilding trust, right? And this is how to restore trust in the communities of faith if and when you are ready. That's if and when you're ready, okay? Because there are times you get hurt so bad, people just disregard the church and they don't want to have anything else to do with the church. And the personal stories, I want to hear from you guys, um, what you've experienced, church hurt, and how they found your path of healing. How did you find your path of healing when you were supposedly hurt? All right. And I want to also explore the impact that it had on you, the psychological and emotional effect of church hurt, right? And why it is essential to address them. And for, as I said, forgiveness, right? We're going to discuss strategies. These are my personal opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be, some of them are going to be biblically based, right? And some of them are going to be from what God has taught me based, right? So it's going to be, I'm going to help you with strategies and forgiving, right? An individual who caused you
to maintain your personal faith journey. So whoever has caused you to miss or mess up on your faith journey, we're
Mm.
gonna help you to how to navigate those experiences, and you come back to a path where you know God and you could have those conversations with God. So go ahead, share this live. I'm your host, Boswell Anglin, guys. Yours truly. And my co-host here right beside my left hand, but yes, she should be on my right, but it's okay. She's on the left tonight. So my wife Shanika, you're right.
I'm good. I'm good.
You ever been church hurt? Let's just talk there, cause
Yeah,
the last time you hosted the
yeah,
entire
we've talked about
conversation,
it.
right?
We've talked
So
about it.
you've
So
been church hurt.
yes,
So
I have given my, like, if you've watched the last two episodes, you would see, where I explain what it felt like to be, betrayed, I would say,
mm-hmm,
or um cast aside, because, making a mistake, and when you're um I would say when your or the place of worship is not equipped to, to facilitate what it takes in order to restore a person, instead of restoration, they push you away.
mm,
So I've had experience in that form, and yes, it did not change my faith or how I viewed God. It just made me, take a step back to be like, okay, something, a battery. It made me take a step back to be like, hey, like, these are individuals. And again, at that time, I was very,
keep talking.
um, I wasn't mature. I was still a baby spiritually. So I did not have a developed personal relationship with God. So at that point, I was like, okay, well, this is all, these people I look up to, and they should have been the ones that nurture you and spiritually, but instead they use your mistake against you and kind of try to push you away. So that led me to backslide a little. And as I matured in Christ, and when I stopped and I look, I was like, like, I should not have allowed that to, have any damper on my relationship, or um, going to church because of someone. But again, when you're not spiritually mature, things, you're not able, and we used the word last week, we're not able to sever and take out what's ours, and what's not ours, leave. We're not spiritual capable when you're not mature. So I was that person when I received, or I got the backlash of that. I wasn't at that spiritual place. I was still a baby. I was still a spiritual baby, and I did not have that personal relationship with God, where I was able to sieve out and take what should have been mine, and what wasn't mine. I should have just left it. But yeah.
So how have that experience shaped you to be the person that you are now? Like, how would you say, what have you learned from those instances that you can share with someone on how to overcome what you've experienced? First of all, I'm going to ask you, what did you experience, if you don't mind sharing, right?
No,
You don't
I
have to
don't
call
mind.
names or anything, but
No.
you could just talk about what happened, and what have, have you done to grow better as an individual right now.
So,
So
I
what happened?
backslid.
Yeah.
One, two.
Oh, so that caused you to backslide?
A little bit.
Oh,
Yeah, because
okay.
I felt as if the place that is designed to nurture you spiritually wasn't doing the nurturing.
Mm,
Instead, I felt as if I was cast aside.
mm-hmm.
So that had a damper on, the way I look at things. Like, okay, if this is supposed to be the place that's supposed to be edifying me and nurturing me spiritually, and this is how they treat me because of a situation, I was like, then yeah, okay, no, I don't need to be here, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of my situation. So I backslid. I had a baby, out of wedlock, as yeah. So that's considered fornication. So the
So
Bible says,
I was a part of that.
yes, you are. So who was? Of course.
I contributed to her
Yeah, you can.
backslidden state,
Well,
guys.
you caught me in my black backslidden
Right.
state.
Okay.
Yeah. So you contribute a little bit because you gave me a baby. You know what I'm saying? So it became very evident that I had black backslidden. So I had a baby, and the way I was viewed and the way I felt. Not that I wanted anyone to make me feel like what I did was right.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, again, the individuals that, you look up to and expected to be there for you during that time, they
Mm-hmm.
weren't. So I felt a bit betrayed
Okay.
and felt a little bit cast out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can you tell someone who have experienced what you've experienced now, that you compare to your life back then?
Well, well, me personally, from Shanika perspective, if you make a mistake, I like to tell them like your mistake doesn't really define who you are.
Right.
That's first thing. And two, you know, to not allow that to put a damper on your relationship with God.
Mm.
And also to take accountability because growing up in the church, I knew what was right and what was wrong. It's just that I did
Okay.
not have that personal relationship where, I would have been like, you know what, I made this mistake and, I serve God despite how everybody is acting.
Mm-hmm.
I serve God and I know the type of God that I serve. But I would first say, take accountability. The Bible tells you what's right from wrong. And I was taught what was right and wrong. And I knew that I made a mistake or, I know I did something that I wasn't supposed to do. So I had to take accountability. And then from there, I was able to realize that a lot of individuals, they were raised a certain way. And because of that, they passed it on from generation to generation. They
Right.
just felt like this is something that we should do because this is what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't feel like they know better. So because they don't know better, it's hard to act on something that you don't know.
Okay.
So I was able to see that. I was able to see that. And from that standpoint, I was able to forgive. And then from forgiveness, I started to, develop, get to know God for myself, know Jesus for myself, and develop a personal relationship with Him.
So before I go into the meat of the matter tonight,
Mm-hmm.
which is we're gonna be talking about leadership and how does that impact someone of leadership, whether they're pastor, deacon, or minister, whatever role they play in the church. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you how were you treated when you were in that state, and how did you feel that you were supposed to be treated?
Well, at that time, I felt like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say I was treated like I wasn't saying mistreated, but as I mentioned before, the way that you'd expect someone that is supposed to be nurturing you spiritually to be there for you. Like, if your child make a mistake, you are going to let them know there are consequences, but at the same time, you're not going to push them aside and let them feel abandoned, like they have no one.
Right.
And that's how I felt. I felt like I did not have anyone, the people that I knew. And the craziest part about it, I had just migrated from Jamaica, so I was here. So I really didn't have much friends or, the same people them back home were the same people I used to talk to and communicate
Mm-hmm.
with. And then when that transition took place in my life, I just feel like everyone was just, cut. Everything just cut.
Okay.
No communication, nothing like that. Nobody reaching out to say, what, Shanika, you slip up, but we still love you.
So
We're
nobody reached
here.
out to you?
Not really. Outside of my family, not really. No,
Ooh.
no.
And you felt hurt because of that?
Yeah, you wouldn't. These are people that you grew up with from I was a child.
Okay.
That's
Listen, listen, guys. Go ahead, share this live as you have the opportunity to, right? So there's a lot going on where different people have been hurt. They may not been hurt the way that you've
Mm-hmm.
experienced your hurt, but there are a lot of people that are really into this topic of church hurt, where they felt that the church abandoned them in some way, somehow, or neglected them, or people of leadership have hurted them, or okay, so let's just go. I'm just going to go into preparation and for leadership. So
Okay.
we're going to talk about leadership, whether you are a pastor, evangelist, um, deacon, minister, whatever role you serve in the church, right? So, how can someone prepare themselves emotionally and spiritually when stepping into leadership role in a church? How would you say that?
And how would they
Yes,
prepare?
prepare for leadership. Yeah.
I would say one, they would have to know God for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would have to know who God is and have a personal relationship with God. Um, I would have to say, you know, pray, going some deep prayer and fasting, asking God to give you the heart,
Mm-hmm.
His heart, a heart of compassion,
Right.
a heart that can be touched by others, by their infirmities, by others, by their pain. Like be a shepherd.
Okay.
Ask God to give you those kind of characteristics because you're leading people. It's just like a shepherd leading flocks. You have to be sensitive. You have to be able to discern. So you need people that are emotionally and spiritually inclined, not just on the spiritual level, but also on the physical and the emotional, because you're not only dealing with spiritual beings, you're dealing with a physical body,
Mm-hmm. Humans.
you're dealing with human being, and
Mm-hmm.
human being has feelings, and not all the time we're going to be spiritual or in the spirit. So
Right.
you want to know that you're going deep fasting and ask God to give you understanding. Like Solomon prayed. He didn't ask for wealth, he didn't ask for riches, he asked God for wisdom
Mm-hmm.
and understanding how to rule people. So that was a prayer that was prayed. So I believe that anyone that's going into leadership to be um well equipped and prepared, I feel like first they need to have a relationship with God, and two, ask the Lord to grant them wisdom and understanding to deal with his people and to give them a heart and a compassion just like Jesus Christ.
Okay. And guys, if you're listening, um, and you need scripture references as to how to prepare for role in leadership, you could go Timothy. Timothy talk about qualifications and conduct for church leaders, right? So this doesn't just applies to pastors or people of prophets or what.
Mm-hmm.
This applies to just general leadership role.
Yeah.
Or so my reason for asking this too, because within our community as Jamaicans, right,
Mm-hmm.
one of the common mistakes I believe that we make is saying because somebody knows how to preach, that mean they're, oh man, they're supposed to be a pastor,
No, not necessarily.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a common mistake I believe a lot of us make within our community.
Community,
Yeah,
true.
oh, somebody could, oh, they could lay the word, oh well, man, this guy can preach, this guy can teach. uh
Mm-hmm.
but does that make him a pastor?
No, that does not make him a leader.
And that does that make him a leader? No, he just have the ability,
The gift that God gives.
right, to lay out the word
Yeah.
or preach the word. So leadership comes with connections,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have to be able to sense people's emotion.
Yes, I agree.
You have to be able to discern in the spirit as
Mm-hmm.
well what people are going through, what
Mm-hmm.
people are facing,
Yeah.
right? And not only just identify them, but you're
What you're gonna
supposed to
do afterwards.
empathize with
Mm-hmm.
that person. You know, you may not know how to, you may not have been through these situations,
Yeah.
right? But you have to know how to navigate or help a person that's going through. That's where real leadership comes in, when you're able um to to discern,
Mm-hmm.
feel someone else's
Mm-hmm.
pain,
Empathy.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Not being judgmental,
Yeah.
but have a heart of Christ, and most of all, seeing people through the lens of God's eyes.
Yes.
That is very important,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's so true.
So I believe, guys, leave your comment in the chat. Let's see what you think. I can't read from that far. I can't.
There's no
That's too small.
questions. They're just like
Oh, somebody say what? Yes, girl.
someone said my
Oh, yeah.
Mrs. Champagne said I would love to participate, but my story is long and I can't type all of what happened.
Listen, Mrs. Champagne, you don't have to put everything, but you could summarize it
Summarize
in the
it
chat.
and put it there. You never
And
know.
just
You
put it
might be
there.
helping someone.
You never know what your testimony or whatever you leave in that writing in the chat
Yeah.
will do to someone, right? And it's an interactive section in our chat where you guys can talk and interact with each other, and maybe you guys will be able to relate to some of the stories that we have or some of the experiences that we have.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. It's off topic. Um that I've always have an issue with. It's so off topic, but just the fact that you
Okay.
um as I don't know, as children of God, I feel like a lot of time God put us through things so we can share to help others.
Right.
And we overcome by our testimony, but somebody else might also need that testimony to overcome. So when God puts you through something and you overcome, don't be afraid to share that testimony. Too often, we're either ashamed of our testimonies and we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to share it, not knowing that that testimony that you overcome, it somebody else could be going through the same thing and just need to hear that somebody been through it
Or
and
experience them.
experience
Yeah.
it and overcome it. So please, if there's ever a time that you've been through anything in your life and you overcome, do not be afraid to share your testimony because your testimony could be somebody's life saving or life changing experience. So don't be afraid. I know it's kind of off topic, but I just had to say it.
It's not really
Share your
off topic
testimony.
because there are a lot of people that have been hurt in church, and as I'm talking to some individuals, um, a lot of I got a lot of feedback from the last coach talk that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are diving into this topic. They're really interested in this topic because they're been hurt by maybe their leader,
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone in the church of high authority,
Mm-hmm.
or somebody who get a position in church and it just goes to their
Goes to their
head,
head.
so they just start acting out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so
You can't talk to me.
I've been
I'm
appointed,
deacon.
I've been yes, I've been appointed a minister. I've been I'm now a pastor. So now you can't talk to them, but they could talk to you anyhow, right?
Mm-mm.
Because that position has gotten to their head. So that's why I ask you, how can someone prepare themselves for a leadership role in the church, right? And if they don't know God and have a
Mhm.
good relationship with God, listen, you're gonna be in terror.
Listen, my husband always said this, and I'm going to steal this from him. Whenever you are being upgraded in ministry, whether that's pastor, bishop, deacon, you are just being upgraded to the highest level of a servant. You're still a servant. You're still a servant. Not because you're a minister or a pastor or a youth pastor. You're a servant. You know, you're called to serve people, not people to serve you.
Mm,
Not people serving you. I took that from you. And because it did something to me, because a lot of time, and it's so true, a lot of time we feel as if though we get a position and the position is for us to, for people to run to us and serve
and for
us
you
and
to put
cater
people
to us
down.
and, you know, we superior and no, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
No, 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 no. When you're put in leadership, you are placed in a higher level of serving, a
Ooh,
higher level of being a servant
that sounds profound. Who did you get that from?
from you. Yes, it's true. And it did something because it connected with me.
Oh
You're just
gosh.
in a higher level of serving. a higher level of being a servant, serving individuals. And it's not for these individuals to serve you.
Mm-hmm.
It's for you to create and demonstrate the God in you.
And
Make
serve
that
them.
light and let them want to serve that light that is in you. But your role and your responsibility is to serve the people that you're assigned to, not them, not vice versa. So don't let that role get to your head, man. You're just a higher level of a servant. That's it.
You know, I often says if there's a position in church that I would really want, right? And people look at me like I'm crazy. I said, give me that role that nobody wants,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the role is being a servant. I need that title, Servant Boswell. So if there's ever a position like that, I will accept that.
Yep.
Like, just call me Servant Boswell, right? Because for some reason, some people whenever they've been given a place of authority or a place of position in a church, whether they're a teacher or apostle or bishops or whatever role or minister, well, we are all ministers anyway, right? But some people, whenever they get these positions in church, they use it, right? And they manipulate it so bad where they feel like they're ahead of the people and can't even come down. And I'm just going to say this. Listen, if you're one of those people who've been assigned a position in a church, I want you to know that you are just an upgraded servant. Because God didn't call you to be served. He called you to serve because you are the one in the position.
Yep.
However, though, from the people's perspective, you have to respect those, right, that have been placed in positions over you, right? So you give them that respect.
Yes.
Always.
Yep.
But I've seen it too many times where people have been assigned positions and they use that position of power to manipulate people, talk down to
Demonize
people, and make people feel as if they're less significant than they are.
Yeah.
And that is not right.
No.
You have to know God for yourself. And the thing is, when you know God for yourself, you don't
You
conduct
don't-
yourself
no,
in that
you
manner.
don't. When you exhibit the fruit of the spirit, it will show.
Mm-hmm.
It must show. It have to. Because, the fruit of the spirit represent Christ, and if you exhibit all of those, it has to. It have to show. It have to. So,
Right.
yeah.
There's something in the chat. I can't read it.
So Carlene said, I've experienced church hurt
Mm.
when I wasn't even saved, and
Ooh.
felt and felt it stop me from going back to that church. And then
Oh, that's deep.
Henrik or Prophet Hunt says, leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge.
Mm.
That's
That
very
is profound.
Jinx.
Very profound.
Very profound.
Listen,
Very
guys,
profound.
share this live, man, because I mean, a lot of people have reached out to me in regards to this discussion and this topic, right? So I want you guys to share it so others can be very much involved in this discussion, because it's a big thing that's going on in the church, and a lot of churches are being emptied right now because of church hurt.
Yep. 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 That is so true.
People deciding, I'm not going back to church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what personal boundaries should an individual set to protect themselves from potential hurt in church leadership? What do you think they can do?
Well, me personally, I love to set boundaries.
Okay, so
I'm
how
a
you set your
boundary- I'm
boundaries?
a boundary person. Like
I
I am
don't
I
know.
am I am big on boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think my face says it all sometimes. I think my face says it all for me sometimes. And my boundaries are, if you ask me to do something and I'm not able to do it, I'm going to tell you that I can't do it.
Okay. Which is fair
I
enough.
I learned to say no, not because, you know, I say no because really and truly it's no because, and I don't really like to use the word no, but sometimes you have to create that, like, how do I put it in words? Like, there's just certain things you just don't allow, and there's certain things that you just don't accept.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I don't. It doesn't matter who you are. I treat individuals how I expect to be treated. It doesn't matter your role or your level in society. I treat people with respect. I speak to people with respect,
Mm-hmm.
and that's exactly. I treat you how I want you to treat me. So that's. I feel like that's how I create boundaries.
Okay.
I state how I feel. I state what I am capable of doing, and I what I can't do. I'm gonna verbalize that to you so you know. So listen, if I tell you I can't move that car, don't come to me, come ask me to move the car, because I already established that already that I can't move the car. So I am setting that boundary to let you know, like, don't ask me about any car, because you already know, and I already stated I can't move the car. So don't be asking me to move in the car, because yeah, if you come to me now and ask me to move the car after I have established that with you, that means you try to provoke me. So I feel like leadership in church, you need to state what you are able to do and what you're not able to do.
So those are boundaries you think that you
Those
can
are
set.
boundaries. I am a mother and I am a wife, and you can't have me at church from Monday to Friday when I have my husband to come home and cook for and my children to take care of. So I'm going to set that boundaries. Okay, I am available this time, this time, this time. Don't ask me about the time them that I said I'm not available. If I tell you I am available to
Oh
sweep the
Lord.
church on Wednesday, don't ask me to come in on Friday to sweep the church. I want to tell you that I am available this time. And I feel a lot of time in church, individuals don't set those type of boundaries, then become overwhelmed and frustrated, and because you're
Mm.
afraid to say no
Right.
and to set these type of boundaries, when the time does come that they say no, it create problem.
Ooh.
So I set
Ooh,
my
that's
boundaries
big.
them very early. Listen, I cannot I cannot do this all the time. I will do my very best. However, if me slip up once in a while, that's just so. But that's how I set my boundaries. Me personally. I don't know about nobody else.
So I, on the other hand, I don't set,
No, you don't.
and this is where she always get upset with me
I sure do.
because I don't set boundaries.
You have to.
I just let people do what they want to do until
Mm-mm.
I just said, okay, well now time that's enough. And for me, like I don't I don't push people out my life because I feel like sometimes there are times when you set boundaries. It's like
No,
you're saying
no,
boundaries are here. If you
no,
ever cross it, we're gonna have
no,
problem.
no,
So
no, not necessarily. Like, for some people, yeah, you don't cross this line. Like, some people, you have to make them know. Because you have some people that are very presumptuous. And not because you're a Christian. You have some presumptuous individual that sit in church in big hat and long frock. Very presumptuous. So, individuals like though, you have to
big
set
frock.
serious boundaries. No, I'm
She's a
serious.
big frock, long hat.
Big hat and long. So you have to set
Big
serious boundaries,
frock,
and this
long
is not
hat.
you pushing people away, but
Okay.
sometimes when people just feel like because you don't have boundaries, they can talk to you however, they can handle you however, they can
Mm-hmm.
treat you however, they can talk. No, 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 not Shanika. No, no, no. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. And that doesn't mean I don't love you. I love you, but you're not gonna handle me however.
No,
You're
for
not
me,
gonna reel me in and roll me out. Reel me in when you feel like, roll me out when you don't want. Reel me back in when you feel like. No, I don't do that kind of yo-yo kind of thing. No.
oh,
When I'm
okay.
on good, when I'm in a good mood, we okay. When I'm not in the mood, stay away from. No, no yo-yo kind of thing. Like, no, respect, mutual respect. You speak to me how, and I avail myself this, and what I can't do, I just can't do.
Guys,
Am I the only person that feel
yeah,
this
I'm
way?
gonna ask him
Yeah, ask.
because I think different.
You sure do.
I do, and I act different too, right? Should you set personal boundaries, right, with individuals to protect themselves from potential hurt, to protect yourself from potential hurt in church leadership. And we're
Are you
talking about
talking of
leadership.
leadership? Oh,
Yes.
I thought you were talking about like on a personal.
No, that's what I said. I said,
Oh,
what are personal boundaries should an individual set to protect themselves from potential hurt
as a
in
leader,
church leadership?
like you have to like probably. I would
So
say I'm not a
leadership's gonna
leader.
hurt you.
I'm not a leader.
No, leadership trying to hurt you. How can you set boundaries so leadership doesn't hurt you? Get it?
Yeah, I understand that.
All right. So a person in leadership,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
There are leaders over you. How do you, who are not in a leadership role, set
Mhm.
boundaries so that person doesn't hurt you?
Well, that's how I would set my personal boundaries so a leader don't hurt me.
Mm,
That's how I would set my boundary. I respect you as my leader.
mm-hmm.
I will treat you with that respect as my leader.
Mm-hmm.
However, if I cannot do something, I am going to verbalize that I cannot do something. And it's not for you, my leader, to be upset because I can't avail myself when you want me to.
Right.
So that's me setting boundaries. I have a husband and children. I can't be at church every single day as a individual when the church door open from
Right.
Monday to Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's me. I can be there this time, and that's it. So that's me setting, my personal boundaries. You know, you don't talk to me, however, because I don't speak to you in that manner. So the respect, you're creating a boundary. Like, you don't handle me, however, you don't reel me in when you feel like and reel me back out. You understand
I
where I'm
hear
coming
you.
from?
Yes,
So
100%.
me
Yeah.
as a person,
That's you.
yeah,
That's just
that's
who you
just
are.
who I am.
Yes.
Not as the leader. I don't know how a leader will would do that, like, create boundaries or whatever. I don't, from a leader's perspective, I don't know how they would create that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about Shanika from a Shanika perspective. Like, this is how, I would create boundaries. Yeah. How about you? What do you think? You don't
For
think you
me,
as a person should have boundaries when it comes to leader or leadership? I
to
don't know what.
leadership, um, it depends. It depends. I think boundaries are important. But for me, I allow people, or I would say I allow individuals to show me who they are first.
Listen.
When they show me who they are, then I believe them. I don't try to go beyond it. If that's who they are, that's just who they are. So boundaries, as far as boundaries go, I wouldn't say I set boundaries, and that's why there are many times people get disrespectful too because you, as you said, you don't set boundaries.
Listen.
And whether
I
that's
don't
in a,
do
whether
disrespect.
they're in a leadership role, as you said, they could talk. They feel
Mm-mm.
as if they could talk down to you
No.
because you don't set boundaries, or because maybe you're just humble.
Okay.
But for me, I just I'm like a person. I just give you the rope. I give you the rope, so you just keep continue to do whatever you want to do until your rope just run out, and then I'm gonna snag the rope and say, "Look, okay, this is it.
I ain't gonna wait
Your
till
rope run out now."
I don't wait that long.
Wait.
No, Shanika personally, sitting on the couch, I am not gonna lie to anybody. No. Yeah, I don't play those type of game. I don't do disrespect because I don't disrespect people. I don't do embarrassment. Don't ever try to embarrass me.
Oh, I hate that.
Don't ever try
Oh,
to
I
embarrass
don't like
me
embarrassment at all.
because, honey, listen, you just, when someone is, you embarrass somebody, you just never know how they're going to retaliate. You just never know what the comeback is going to be. So I don't try to embarrass people. I try to, as an individual, I don't try to put people on the spot. I don't like to do that. And I don't like when people do that to me. Don't try to call me out, single me out, or, you know, don't do that. I don't feel like whether you're in leadership or not, it's just God don't operate like that. we are lacking in so many areas. We are lacking in so many areas. And my prayer is for God to show me like where we went wrong. Where we went wrong. Where we went wrong. Where we feel like calling out people in the middle of congregation and embarrassing individuals and then saying that's the Holy Spirit.
Mm,
Saying that's God. Listen. We lost it somewhere.
mm.
Mm-mm.
What would you say about somebody that says, um,
Mm-mm.
you're too sensitive? Grow, grow up. You're too sensitive. Be tough skin.
Somebody say that. If
No,
somebody
what
should say.
if somebody say that you're
And
too
who is
thin
that
skin?
person? Who is that?
It
Is
don't
that
matter.
person?
It don't matter who says it to you. What if, well, let's say a congregant in the church or
Mm.
a person of leadership?
Hmm. You really want
You've
my
been hurt, but they say they hurting you, but they oh, you're too sensitive.
me
Huh?
go say something about my nervous.
Well, you gotta say
No.
this. Listen, this is couch talk. We're here for it. We got to be open and
So you're hurting.
yes. And the person will
And
say, man, you too thin skin. Uh, Toughen up. Yeah. What would that be? What would be your response in
it
regards to that?
depends. It depends on the situation.
It, all right.
I would say it depends.
Just think of a situation where somebody hurt you.
The person, hold on. The person that hurt you is telling you to grow some tough
Yeah,
skin.
you grow up. You too thin skin.
I'll be like, after you grow up, maybe I will.
Oh, that's what you would say.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'd have to be in the moment, but yeah, like you're hurting someone at the same time you're telling that person to grow up. Like, is the person aware that they're hurting the other person?
It may not be the situation that they are aware, but maybe it can be someone looking in,
Yeah.
and it's you having a conversation with someone, and then you get upset, and that person sees it and be like, no, you should grow up. That's no big deal. You're
Mm,
expressing it to that person like, oh, this is what that person did to me, and I felt some type of way, and they say,
mm.
no, grow up, man. It's not that deep.
We need to be touched by the infirmities of others, just like oh God was touched. That's all we need to be touched. We don't have no empathy, and I feel like as like you could have used a better word. If the person is hurting and you said the person is hurting, like a better wording would be a better wording. I would say,
Hmm.
cause the person is hurting. It's like me have a cut, and instead of trying to help my cut, you push your finger in it, make it even worse. So sometimes it's just what you say, when you say, and how you say it. Wrong time, wrong place, and if a person is hurting, adding to that hurt, you know, it's not wise.
Okay.
That's why we should pray for wisdom and understanding, and also that God give us a spirit of discernment, so we can see when our sisters and our brother, we're supposed to be our brother's keepers. And if your brother is hurting and expressing that to you, you should be there to, console that person, encourage that person, and say, you
Hmm.
know what, maybe I wouldn't take it that way, but the fact that you took it that way, you feel this type of way, find something to say to encourage that person, not to let the person feel worse,
Right.
you know?
Hmm.
Oh, and we lack that. We lack that. We lack that big time. Big time.
So tonight, I really wanted to talk more about the leadership role of hurting people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's where most of the hurt normally comes from when an individual say they're hurt. People are not really offended by, um, let's say I'm just a regular member and somebody is a regular member and they have a conversation and then they get upset. Both people arguing and they okay,
That happens too.
it happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But very seldomly, right? But normally people are really hurt when it's somebody of stature in their
Mm-hmm.
eyes because I don't view anybody as above me, right?
Superior.
That's me, superior to me. No, I don't. I don't care who you are. You
Jesus
could be
Christ.
President Trump. You can. It don't matter who you are. I don't view anyone above me, right? However, the position and the role that you're setting, I'm going to respect it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said I really wanted to talk about the leaders and and how a person should deal with those type of hurt when it's from a leadership point of view.
Oh, that's a question.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying
Oh.
that's what I really want to talk about tonight, because a lot of people are being hurt, and another way people can be hurt too is this one is very unusual, where someone of the leadership is just gone because they have messed up.
Break that down. What do you mean?
So the pastor or the leader for that church or that congregation
Mm-hmm.
maybe passed away,
Mm-hmm.
maybe messed up by sexual perversion or some form of things with the law or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because of stuff like that, now they have to be in, they have been wiped away from their crowd or their congregation that God has placed them to lead.
So if you're dead, you're not forgiven me. So if you're dead,
But people get hurt from that. Like if a like okay, so if a pastor pass away, right, and there's not nobody else to carry on that ministry, there are people that get hurt.
hurt for what? First of all,
They do get
hurt
hurt.
for what? First of all, we become too complacent and reliant on man. That
On
was our
man.
problem.
Okay, yes.
We
man.
come too complacent and reliant because, again, if you are at that place where you have a personal relationship with God and a pastor or a bishop or somebody who is in charge pass away,
Not just pass away. Remember, we're talking about
yeah, but we
messed
deal with
ups.
the pass away first.
Okay.
We'll talk about the pass away part first. Pass away. How would that hinder you as an individual? How could you be hurt about that because there's nobody there to continue?
Because they were attached to
That,
the person.
you're attached to the wrong thing if you're attached to God. Because that shouldn't stop you. That should not make you know, say, listen, it's appointed unto man to die, and after that come the judgment. So you see your pastor, your leader pass away, that should put look of fire under you to go to the road, go minister and try to win some soul. Because really and truly, that's what we're called for. To be disciples. Not to sit in the church and be attached to a man and dress up every Sunday and come to church. No. Walk into a building. No. And that's our problem. That is our problem.
Some of us.
Some of our problems. We get attached to the wrong things. And the way we show reverence and attach to man, I tell you, if we have just a little percentage of that towards God and the things of God, we would have been so far gone. We would have been so far gone. And it breaks my heart. Everybody can tell you what pastor say.
Right? It's
Pastor
normally
say,
like that.
don't drink water. Pastor say, don't chew gum. Pastor say, don't eat candy. But yet still you sit beside your sister that you haven't spoken to in a year.
Oh, jeez.
What does the Bible say about that? What does Jesus say about that?
She getting in, guys.
What does Jesus
Professor
say
going in.
about malice? What does Jesus say about loving your brother and your sister? Stop telling me everything what pastor said. They got what pastor said, don't pack.
That's true.
Nobody no want move to the left because pastor said don't move to the left. Okay, like tell me what Jesus said. That's what I want to hear. Tell me what Jesus said. And a lot of us, we don't want to go by this. We want to go by what man say. And it's a problem. It's a problem. So, to anyone out there that is hurting
She going on.
because your pastor
Professor.
passed away, my deepest condolence to you. However, the Bible states it's appointed, death is a must. It's appointed unto man once to die, but after death come the judgment. You will see your pastor again once you detach yourself and do what you're supposed to do.
So what
will
about
see Jesus again.
okay, so let's say about somebody that have been sexually perverted or
Commit adultery and something, fornication and something.
are just being accused, because there are a lot of times people are just accused of things not saying that they did it, but now you're being judged, and you've been removed from your position of leadership because of the accusations.
Well, listen, once again, you get your promotion from man, you gonna get your demotion from man. Because
Oh
if a
jeez.
man you rely on and men put you in the position and lift you and put you on that
Woo!
pedestal,
Oh jeez.
and that's what swell your head, and listen, man promote you, them can't bring you right back at ground. So that's why these titles don't be doing nothing to me. I'm sorry.
Oh, so let's go to the chat and see what they
Yes, let's
say.
go to the
You
chat.
got better eyes than I do.
Okay, so I think um Carlene said y'all should have it where people can call in. Oh, eventually we'll have one of those. One day,
Oh,
one
it's
day.
actually there where we can send a link and allow people to come in. But you see, the thing is, we don't have a like a tech person here with us to let somebody in. So, Carlene, we do have that, and hopefully, as time progresses, people may want to aid us or help us with what we're doing. If you want to, if you find these couch talk topics thought provoking and you want to engage in it, hopefully, if you're tech savvy and you want to be a part of what we do, also um, spots are open, right? So they can, yeah, cause I can't do everything, guys. But yeah, you definitely can call in, but we need somebody
Yeah,
who's doing the technology
once we
part.
get to figure it out and we have someone who can manage that while we are here, just keep on praying for us. Yeah, so one day we'll be able to do that. So, Trish, Carlene, we definitely want to hear your testimony. Or if you want to share it, please, you can just put it in there briefly. If we don't do it tonight, we'll do it the next couch talk. Just, come and just read out testimonies or experiences, or, we can go from there. So, if you have it, you could leave it there. We'll take it down. And if we can read it from here, we will, but just bear with us until one day. Listen, one day we gonna
Yeah,
get
we're
there.
gonna
One
have it.
day,
We're getting there.
one day.
We're getting there, and guys, listen. Um, Seems like this, as I said, this church hurt topic is very important. People are weighing in their opinions, their experiences, and I feel like we're gonna continue um, talking about church. Right there are a lot of topics that we're gonna cover. However, but we gotta seal this church hurt thing in, because I wanna get into how to address forgiveness of being for being church hurt, right? I want to talk about how you deal with those things and how to not allow those things to mess up your relationship with God, because at the end of the day, your relationship with God is what matters most, not the relationship that you have with man or your leaders or whoever. The number one priority, guys, is God.
Always.
That should be your number one priority.
Mm-hmm.
And many times we are hurt, right? Because our relationship is built on whoever is around us as opposed to who is above us
Mm. And in us.
and in us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christ is in you, guys. So don't wait for anybody to validate who you are. And once you're able to have that walk with God, personal walk with God, it's going to be hard for you to be church hurt. There are going to be times when people can really upset you. Absolutely. I will not disregard that. But when you have a relationship with God, a deep relationship and connection with God, it becomes difficult for someone to hurt you. And most of the times people often get hurt too because they serve, right, to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're not being recognized for or being seen for what they're trying to do or what they
Mm-hmm.
do,
I acknowledge.
our acknowledgement, now
Mm-hmm.
they're being hurt,
Yep.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
I want you to get out of the mindset of doing things to be seen, right? Or doing things to please someone. That's another mistake that we make. Some of us make. Don't do things to please someone for their satisfaction, but do things from your heart.
Mhm.
And see, when you do things from your heart, it doesn't matter if a person sees it or they don't see it. Guess what matters? God sees it though.
Mhm.
And that's the most important thing that you can do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see.
So go in the chat.
Um
So what was the next one?
so so evangelist Pat Chamber,
Okay.
she said God did not hurt us. We should talk to God about the hurt. I agree. If you're experiencing hurt, you should definitely consult God about it. He will direct your path and tell you what to do.
Yes.
Um, no man, she said. Okay, then she also says, also accept suggestion for couch talk. Yes, we are very open. If you
Oh
have any
yes.
suggestion, leave them in the box because after couch talk, we always go through the messages. We try
And the
to
chat.
respond.
Yes.
So if you have suggestions, leave them there. Leave your suggestions down in the comment box. We will see them. Simone said, we don't go to church for man. It's to have a relationship with God. And a lot of people
Oh.
don't understand that. Like the sanctuaries where you go for refueling.
Mm.
It's not where you go to I I don't know. Listen, people, we miss something somewhere along the line. Like I feel like we don't do enough reading of the word. We take what everybody say and we run with it, but yet still we don't have that connection. And
But
the
the thing is, I'll give you a pushback on that though. Don't mean to cut you, right?
mhm,
Because there are some people, right? They're so dependent and
mhm,
trustworthy of the person that God has placed to lead them, right?
mhm,
So they trust them. As I can think about what was his name, Jim Jones, I think that was his name, who
mhm,
brought the people to Guyana.
mhm.
They were so these people were so into to him, right? They trust him, and he went there and poisoned the people. Very few people,
Well,
very few people
I
got
know what I'm
away,
gonna say
right?
about that.
Right?
Listen, again, nothing is wrong.
Oh, and this guy in Jamaica,
Y-
that
Nothing is
what was
wrong.
his name? You remember?
Kevin,
Yeah, Kevin.
nothing is wrong with trusting the person that God, allow
to
to
be
be
in leadership over you.
responsible or
Yeah.
be in leadership over you. Nothing is wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a problem when that person becomes more important than God.
Yes.
When that person, what that person says is more important than what God says.
Yeah.
That's the problem because nothing is wrong with loving your leader,
Mm-hmm.
honoring them, showing reverence to them. Nothing is wrong with that. Absolutely nothing is wrong with that. The problem becomes when we don't have a relationship with God and the relationship is more with man than with God. The word, the word is God. And if you don't indulge in this and know this for yourself, you're a walking shell. So you have to know that nothing is wrong. You can love your pastor, and I believe that if you have a leader that is, you know, treats you well, and a great leader and a man that stand up on the word, and nothing is wrong. You love them and you want to treat them and lavish them. Nothing is wrong with that. But when it
Mm-hmm.
come down to Hannah, God come first. I'm sorry. What God says come first
Right.
all
I
the
agree
time.
with you
God
100%.
comes first all the time. And that's the problem in our society and in our church today. God don't come first. The person that God placed in our lives are more important than God.
You put them on a
We
pedestal.
put them on that pedestal and we don't know that we're creating danger for these people. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very because God, him tell you, he's a jealous God. Him not share in praise and him not share nothing with nobody. So we have to be very, very, very careful. So I think Kimon a bit delayed, bit delayed with this comment, but I don't think it is so much about the passing of the pastor that causes hurt, but the after effect of the passing, such as the breaking away of the church and the loss of the community and the belong that might result from the leader gone. When a family is broken, it hurt. In that aspect, I understand.
Mm.
I totally get that because you're a family. I totally get that. You're a family. You're a community. And then, when the leader pass, it's like everybody just don't know. Everybody has scrambled. They don't know what to do.
Yeah,
So I
that's tough.
understand that. But I just don't feel like people should use that as a hurt to not move on or become stagnant or no. No. And as Kimon put it, just the it's like a family being broken. And I get that. I totally understand that because my pastor passed away. My pastor that I love so dearly, I grew up with, like he dropped me to school, everything. And when he passed away, I was so broken. But that did not stop me from, that did not take me away from my faith. I was just broken to know that, him pass away and him leave the church and the church did fall apart. The church did fall apart. 'Cause people left. Some people, it did happen. So
So
I
that's
understand from that aspect. But
so this is my thing now, right? Um, don't you think? I mean, they say you slay the shepherd, the flocks will go apart, right?
mm-hmm.
So don't you think that's is how do you feel that looks on leadership?
Poor, poor.
Because there's supposed to be somebody.
That's why there's a fivefold ministry.
Mm,
That's why there's a fivefold ministry.
so I don't know the situation that's going on with Jimmy Swaggart right now, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't know exactly, but I think he probably have some cardiac arrest or something going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is ministry, right? I
Call
mean,
it fivefold.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that are ready right now, I think are in place just in case
Yeah.
anything happened
Should
to him,
happen. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To still carry on the ministry.
Yeah.
Is he going to be missed? Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I feel that there are people in place to carry on what he's or carry on his legacy, whether it's his son or his grandkids or even the leaders that he
That he
assigned.
assigned.
And he
Yeah.
and he definitely has a lot of leaders that he assigned to do work,
Sorry, love
right?
that. Yeah.
So I feel that oftentimes when that happens with the church where the leader pass away and the churches fall apart, it tells what type of leader you are. It defines the type of leader you are.
You can.
Yeah, because you're supposed to be
You're
training
supposed
others
to
to
train in
coming up
others.
to
Yeah,
yes,
I agree.
like yourself.
I agree. Because where I'm from, or where I grew up, or where I went to church, or pastor, we had our pastor, and that's what I love about my pastor, Pastor Lenroy Smith. I mean, he felt like we had a youth pastor,
Hmm.
we had uh you like we have the praise and we
The
have the
5-4.
music, we have the music department leader, which a lot of churches have. But if you are going to, if you're gonna train, you have to train individuals because we don't plan for the year upon the earth long.
Hmm.
And the Bible, that's why the Bible use the word elders don't necessarily mean say you're old. It just means that you have been working in the field or in the ministry for
Yeah,
a
you
long
just
time.
seen a citizen.
So now you reach a stage now that you just sit and you just monitor, or what's the
Yes,
proper word?
oversee.
Oversee.
Hmm.
So I feel like if there's a pastor in a church and the pastor passed away, yeah, it should be set up a way where you have someone to fall right in place because you have been training them, because we're not gonna on the earth for long. Like,
We're just passing through, guys.
that's why God made disciples.
I
And he could have done it by himself, but what's the, he said, listen, I'm going to create disciples, 12 disciples. And those 12 disciples, we are here because they did what they were supposed to do.
I have 15 questions, and I'm
15,
only at number 2.
we can't do all 15 tonight, so just pick.
Absolutely not. I'm just going to go to number 3 because we're going to continue this conversation of being hurt, because I navigate, because I like to be free spirited when it comes to conversations like this. Like, I don't like to be like, okay, point A, point B, point C. No, it's a conversation that's organic. It involves people leaving their comments, guys. I thank you all for participating. And I'm just going to go with one more question. Question 3. How can someone in a leadership position foster genuine relationship with congregants and to prevent feeling of isolation?
Say that question again.
How can someone in a leadership position foster a genuine relationships with congregants, right? To prevent feelings of isolation.
By building trust and credibility,
Mm-hmm.
to be transparent in their doing.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know that you are aware of the situation that they've been hurt in. Try not to dwell on it and drag it out,
Right.
but just to let them know that I'm aware, and this is not what I am for, or this is not what I'm about. Just make yourself very transparent so people can see and be authentic. People
Love
are
authenticity.
are drawn to authentic.
Authenticity.
Yeah, that word. So I just feel like, be transparent, be honest, and let people know what you're about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I would say in order for you to formulate a genuine relationship with someone,
Mm-hmm.
you, you can't enter it without being true to yourself.
True that. True
That's
that.
number one.
True that.
You have to be true to who you are. The moment you try to act as if you're somebody else, or
Problem.
you're carrying on something else that someone or what God gives somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and not what you can come up with God, that
What
God
God
has
instruct you.
struck you to do,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to be in problems. So the number one thing is to be true to who you are.
Yeah.
That's number one. The next thing, if people are not drawn to that,
Mm-hmm.
right, true to who you are, if they're not drawn to that with you as a leader, that means you need to reevaluate if you're called to be a leader. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you're a leader, these things are automatic.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it comes, it just automatically comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to force it. You don't have to do anything for people to respect you, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to, oh, well, I said this and I said that, and that's what it is. No.
That's what it is. Final.
Well, you beat me up. I'm being abused here, guys. I'm being abused. Oh my gosh. Was that Miss McLeod? I,
Yes.
I think I could see a little bit.
That's
Read
why
some of the
you
chats.
have ministers, evangelists, and deacons, correct? Carly said facts, and then she said, live what you preach, 100%.
Right.
Yep.
So one of the thing is people can tell you, they want to tell you how to carry yourself, how to dress yourself, and they themselves can't even live up to what they're telling you to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That camera is out, but it's okay. And next thing, when you are genuine,
Mm-hmm.
people will sense that. Hold on, guys. People know. People know when you're authentic,
Mm-hmm.
right?
People know.
Because authenticity comes with the energy.
Come with an essence, man.
It
It
comes
does.
with a certain type of essence. When you walk, you can tell if that person is authentic or not,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's true.
some people force authenticity, and when they force it, you can feel it as an individual too that is
Yeah.
spiritually discerning.
And sometimes you don't even need discernment. You just
Sometimes you
sense it.
don't, yeah, because just the way another person talks, you could tell if they're talking for themselves or they talking through somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Mm-hmm.
can
You
do
can
that.
tell.
So the thing is, number one, man, as I said, being true to you, to yourself, is very important. There are times people are not going to be able to deal with you. One thing I know about myself, right? Let me just talk for myself as being a leader. I am very openly, like, I get in trouble a lot of times because my wife, sometimes she's in some places and she's on the edge because she doesn't know what I'm going to say. And she's not the only one. Whenever I'm around people, they say the same thing. I got to be careful with Bazi because I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth when it's going to come out. And so the thing is, when everybody could be saying the same thing about you, right? That tells some form of authenticity, right?
Okay.
So,
Consistency.
yeah, because I am consistent with who I am. I am not going to try to sugarcoat nothing just to make somebody feel um, comfortable.
Well, you can be diplomatic sometimes.
I am very diplomatic, right? But there are sometimes you just got to say what you need to say, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you're saying what you need to say. I don't say things just to say. I say where people also can be receptive to it because at the end of the day, you're trying to accomplish a goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there are times when things are perpetuating and you just need to say, like, look, and you could be in a room and everybody's thinking the same thing, but nobody
Want to say it?
want to say it.
Yeah.
I'm that person who's going to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be a good and it can be a bad thing, right? Good in a sense where you relieve yourself
Mm-hmm.
from the thoughts that others are thinking and relieve yourself from yourself too because I got some concerns and I need to say my concern. I'm not going to speak for people, but I'm going to speak for me.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you can sense that's what the room is thinking, right? I'm going to speak on my behalf. I'm not going to speak on others' behalf,
You
right?
have to.
And people can identify with that. So I am very authentic. So people of leadership, and when you're in a leadership role, right? Always be true to who you are. Never try to be someone else. And next thing that I noticed too, and this is very popular among our community, right? Our leaders, whenever we have leaders, right? Or a person that preaches, right? Or a pastor, whoever comes and try to preach, they try to emulate that person, try to talk out, preach out that pastor, preach out. It's a bad thing. No, you're not being authentic to who you are.
What do you mean? I'm not
So,
understanding what you're saying.
like, you ever hear some people preaching, and then and then the next guy that they're training or that's under them do the same thing.
Why do they do that?
So they're doing the same thing, or they talk the same way, they express themselves the same way that pastor express themselves. No, I can't be receptive to you because you're not
You're
being
trying to be
you're
somebody
being
else,
somebody else.
not you.
And that person already drawn to that person already. I don't need to that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If it's coincidental that both of you may sound alike, right? That's okay. But when that person nurtures you, right, and then you just emulating everything that person does, the way that person talk, you talk that like that person.
That's
No,
just crazy
what?
because even as a mother, you have your kids.
Simone, they laughing.
You have your kids and you nurture them and you take care of them and You groom them, and from parents who breastfeed their kids, they breastfeed their children, and the kids them still come out with their own personality. So why
Right.
do you feel like, even though someone is training you or you're in training, why do you feel like you need to come out imitating or trying to be that person? Be yourself.
Be yourself, guys.
Take what's given to you or take what you learn and just be yourself. Take the information, run with it, and just be yourself. Don't try
Yes.
to be somebody else. Be you.
And when you be yourself, right,
Mm-hmm.
that shows that you're confident in who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're not trying to be accepted or be adopted into somebody else's light.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, it becomes harder for someone to hurt you because you're confident in the person that God created you to be.
Mm-hmm. True.
So, guys, we're going to continue this topic next Wednesday at 8 p.m., right? Tell a friend. I know my wife, sometimes she don't want to come every week, but it's all right. She's shaking her head,
Um,
but it's all right. We we're gonna have this more um, next week, next Wednesday. We're gonna continue. I don't know how long this church hurt topic is gonna go, but guys, if you have suggestions, you could leave it in the chat. And but we're gonna continue about this church hurt and leave something in the chat if you have ever been hurt by someone in the church. Leave it in the chat and write how you were able to get over that, or if you haven't gotten over it, state
come back
why.
next week. Come back
State
next
why
week
and
so we
come
could
back
talk
next week
about
and we're going to talk
forgiveness.
about it. We're going to dive into forgiveness from being church hurt next week. We're definitely going to get into that and see how you can navigate your way through these hurts and these pain that you've been experiencing because of
Mm-hmm.
someone else's um, love for authority.
Hmm.
Yes. So, guys, the next thing, remember, subscribe to our page, Perpetual Worship
Yes.
Music. Also, you can, if you haven't subscribed before, go to our YouTube page, guys, and subscribe to our page. Also, there's going to be a concert this weekend. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be happening at my church. It's a fundraiser, guys. I want you to be able to come out, and it starts at 7 p.m. So, myself and my very
No, it's
good
gonna be
friend,
all day. The concert is gonna be.
the concert starts 7 p.m. But the food, they're going to have food on sale the whole day, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want food to eat, you could make your orders. If you want the break, if you don't want to cook, actually put your pots down for Saturday, all
And
right,
Sunday too.
and Sunday.
Which is
So
Sunday.
wherever you guys are in this New Jersey, we're in Jersey, so I know people from different places are
Mm-hmm.
seeing this, but we're in New Jersey. So this concert is gonna be happening at 708 Stuyvesant Avenue in Irvington, New Jersey, and it's gonna be featuring myself and my very good friend from Canada. I always call him my very good friend. We grew up together. We separated ourselves because when we migrate to different countries, but we still remain friends. Me and my friend Pastor Junior Smith. So we will be in the building and we're gonna have a great time. And so invite a friend, and we're just gonna have a great time worshiping God together.
Yes.
Anything you want to say?
Yes.
Oh,
August 16th, we're gonna have a
oh,
night of worship with Boswell Anglin, and I would love for all of you guys to come out. It's gonna be free of cost to enter. We will have, refreshment on sale, but it's um it's a free night of worship with Boswell and friends. So please tell your friends, come on over. Let's worship together. And also,
the
um,
address.
the
It's gonna
address,
be 1 Market Street, Patterson, New Jersey.
yes, that address that he says. And also, if you are uh not a person that sleeps at nighttime, like you're up at
Oh, I forgot
nighttime,
about that.
we have midnight worship with Boswell from 12 to 1, Monday at 12 a.m. and Thursday at 12 a.m. So you can definitely, he's on YouTube, he's on TikTok,
And
and
Facebook.
on Facebook. So if you can't go to your bed or you are working the graveyard shift and you just need some worship and some encouragement, please tune in to Midnight Worship with Boswell Monday and Thursday at 12 a.m. And also August 16th, I did mention that. And remember the concert for this coming Saturday. And please, if you are attending the concert on August, you don't sleep. But suppose if you don't sleep.
I
So
don't. Mhm.
if you are coming to the concert on the 16th of August, I need you all to go on Apple, Spotify, YouTube,
Amazon,
Amazon, all music
iHeartRadio.
platform, and go listen to all of Mr. Anglin's song because most of those songs will be sung on that day.
Actually, let me just chime in. Guys, 90% of the songs that we'll be singing on that night will be my songs. All right, so please, for those of you who are coming, um, please know the songs and come to worship because it's going to be a production that we're putting together, and I want you guys to be a part of it, knowing these songs. All right, so at least when you hear them, you can be a part of the worship and feel and not feel excluded. You feel included.
No pressure, but know them.
Nope.
No pressure, but know them. So yeah, so that's the announcement, and we just ask to go on his artist page on Instagram. It's what is it?
It's Boswell underscore Anglin underscore Junior JR. So you guys could follow me there.
Yeah, go follow his
Follow that
page.
artist page
Yeah,
on Facebook.
Boswell underscore Anglin underscore Junior. So that's his artist
I think I
page.
just said that.
So go follow him. Please share. We ask that you share, 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 share. Please don't be selfish with all this information. Share so others can hear and know about us and, try to take part of what we're doing. So please share with your friends, share with your neighbors. That's all we ask. Share, share, share.
Oh, and next thing I'm gonna put out there, guys, if you are interested in what we're doing and you wanna be a part of whatever we're doing in whatever role, whatever thing that you can do, we're open to take what you call that, suggestions, and I'm looking for backup singers.
One correction, not whatever you can do,
No?
because we need people that are going to work. So we are looking for individuals that are able to. We need backup singers.
Okay,
We need singers.
she said it.
We need photographers,
Photographers,
photographers, and we need someone that is
tech.
tech savvy because there are times when he's on TikTok and we don't know how to host and we can't be doing it at the same time. And while we're on Couch Talk, we need someone. So we are looking for individuals that has a passion for
For
ministry,
growth,
and not only
for
growth, for
ministry growth.
ministry and for
Yes.
growth. Because our main goal is to win souls, not just to sit here and just talk because we can talk, but our main goals are to bring people to Christ,
Right.
to help people along this journey and bring them closer to Christ. So Boswell being on Monday and Thursday night is not just because, he can sing,
I
but
can't.
he
Yeah.
really wants, soul to come to know who Jesus Christ
Christ
is.
says
So
yes.
that's our main goal. So if that's who you are, listen, we need you over here. Okay? How much do you pay? Jesus. That's all. That's what we
For
pay
now.
for now.
For now. That's all we can. That's all we can
That's all
afford
for
for now
now.
until
Until,
we get more established, and
yeah,
then
which we will, but it's a
which I know
process.
that we will, but everything is a process, guys.
Yeah.
Nothing in life just starts from the top. Sometimes you just got to build that foundation and have the when you have the correct pieces in your
Yeah.
foundation, you're able to
Build.
build a building that can withstand and can
Hmm.
what we're trying to build is a unified body of Christ, where we forget about culture, we forget about traditions, yet focus on worshiping God as a unified body, because yes, that's our goal as perpetual worship music. I know we haven't been singing as a group, but I've been doing
Summer
it.
is coming. Don't
But summer
worry.
is coming, the backyard will be open
Yeah.
for backyard worship, and we're gonna do that. So guys, look out for the poster for that, and we're gonna have a great time this summer. And hopefully, guys, if you are interested in being a part of what we do, send us a, DM or whatever you want to do, but serious inquiries only.
Only. Yeah. We
If
ain't got time for
yeah,
the games.
and yeah,
God work is serious thing. Yeah. We ain't got time.
yeah. So that's where we are right now. We thank you guys for watching. We thank you for tuning
Oh,
in.
oh, oh, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. So I'm putting Mr. Anglin out there, out there, out there. So I need people to hear him and what he has to say through his music. So if your church is having a concert and looking for singers, please reach out. Tell them about Bazi. Send us information. Your community's having an event, let us know. I'm trying to get him out there, and with your help, I know we can do it. Like, the world need to hear what he has to say through his music. So there's so many music out there that's not doing anything for us. So we have this young man, a man of God. Please share,
She
tell
making
your
me shake.
friends. Tell your friends, they need to hear
Oh
him.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we have to travel, we'll travel. So yeah, please, tell your friends, your church. um yeah, we have a young artist coming up. So that's it
I
for
never thought I
tonight.
would be an artist. I just always say I'm a worshiper, but I guess I have
Worshiper.
to. I guess I have to embrace it now that I'm an
Worshiper.
artist, because they say once you put out music, you now
You're an
become an
artist.
artist. Oh, jeez.
So yeah, so that's where I'm gonna leave that. So we thank you guys for joining us tonight on the couch again. We always feel honored to sit here and talk with you guys. So we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
No, no,
We'll
we're not
see you
doing that.
next week.
We'll see you guys next week.
See you
We
guys
will
next
definitely see
week.
you guys next week. All right.
Thank you for joining us. And again, leave that comment. Leave your comments. Carlene, leave your testimony. Share your testimony there. Leave it there.
Carlene
And
sound like she want to be on the talk in the chat in the corner,
yeah,
just talking about her experience. Look, we're gonna
leave
set
it
that
there.
up. But leave something in the chat. And guys, if you have any other thought provoking topics that you want to discuss,
Leave them there.
leave them there. We consider everyone. We are a community of people who are trying to help each other, right? With our growth, with our walk with Christ. And don't be afraid to leave and share your thoughts or your ideas um, in the chat or in our DM or whatever. We check it. All right. So until then, guys. Oh my gosh. I forgot one thing.
Well,
I got a new song that's out, guys.
okay.
She said, okay, you forgot?
Never.
She
You
don't
kind of
even
you
know.
kind of scared me just now. Like,
I forgot, guys. I have a new
okay.
song that's out. It's called Hear Me When I Call.
All right. You might want to play that in closing so
Let
we
me
can
go
hear it.
see. All right, go keep talking.
I'm done talking. Have a wonderful night, everyone. Mama McPherson, you're coming when we are finishing. Come on, Mama McPherson. That's my Gma, y'all. So, again, thank you all for joining. God bless you all. And as we always say, let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. So until next time, we will see you all for Couch Talk. Here goes Boswell's new song. Please listen, follow, subscribe. Love you guys. to just find the song.
I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it went. I can't find it. All right, just tell them bye.
I did already.
All right. Adios. Good night, guys. Go listen to the song on YouTube and Facebook and all those.